All right, and we're with Eddie Combs from Sears, and we appreciate you coming to the convention today. Sears is a big radio user. Can you tell us why?
You know, radio is a fantastic tool to strategically achieve a number of objectives. Particularly for me, I love getting after it on radio when the fish are biting. So when I know consumers for big ticket items like I sell appliances, when I know consumers are in the marketplace, I want to reach them as many times and as often as I can, and I want to catch their drive time traffic because they're thinking about spending hundreds of, in some cases, thousands of dollars. So if it's a big holiday weekend, it's a big holiday drive time, I want to be on that. And then surgically, I like using it. I'm really a big fan of using regional radio when things are going on in the region, whether it's with competition, government, you know, when New York gives away stimulus dollars, things like that for people to buy high energy efficient appliances. I like to make sure that I'm reinforcing on a short lead time, which is great with radio, telling consumers what's going on, what the government's giving them, and how they can come to Sears and cash in on it.
Now, you came up with the idea to put Brett Favre in one of your commercials,
yeah.
And it seemed to have done very well for you, yeah, selling TVs. How did that work on the radio?
You know, it worked great because you know, you can only buy so much television programming, especially some of the programming for football is pretty expensive, and on a finite budget, you're trying to make your dollars stretch. So taking almost a direct pull from the television and driving to other media, especially with a recognizable voice like Brett, and at the time he was a really hot commodity, it really reinforced the campaign. But not only that, I think it reinforced the campaign with radio DJs because they were entertained by it, they were reminded in their place of business about it, and callers would talk about it, they would talk about it with their audiences, and so that was great for me, and it gave them a little bit of social currency to pass around on my behalf, which I appreciated.
And you talked about contextual explosion.
Yeah.
That's something I don't think many people have heard of. What does that mean, and how can radio people bring that to you?
You know, a contextual explosion is a pretty simple concept. It's often when everybody says, boy, that was a brilliant spot, they really got lucky. But what really is, most of the time, is a lot of hard work by people, you know, in the agency world, creative people in the radio world who come up with ideas to capitalize on something that's going on in pop culture, finding the right person, the right time, and the right place to exploit what everybody's talking about around the water cooler. And we did the Brett Favre thing, everybody was saying, will this guy play, won't this guy play? And we saw it, the PR around him was tremendous, and we said, look, let's capitalize on that moment. And what we did is we got the right guy right before football season talking about his indecisiveness, which coincidentally, what made it perfect is that television buyers are very indecisive. They don't know the technology, LCD, LED, plasma, and so that's why they're so indecisive. So we harnessed their indecisiveness and insight with a celebrity. And right before football season, they were wanting to buy TVs, and they wanted to see somebody look like them going through the same struggles, and it exploded. And it exploded through every channel. It exploded online, it exploded on YouTube, it exploded on radio. Disc jockeys were talking about it. It was just it was something I couldn't contain, and it was a big success for our business.
So what advice could you give to managers and sales managers in the radio industry to not only bring business from Sears in, but bring other business in that they might not be getting? What do they need to do to get out there and compete with all the other media?
Well, you know, I think the one thing that radio has, and I'll give you an example of what they did for my new campaign called Wake Up Call, is see what I'm doing, understand what I'm out there trying to showcase, and I'm trying to move it, and then have your smart, creative people look at that and help me extend it in a unique way that I might not think about because, you know, I'm not a radio pro. And so I had some radio people come back to me and say, you know, you have this wake-up call where you have this little blue phone, and I'll grab it if you don't mind. I have this little blue phone that that appears in the most unusual places. We might be able to pull it right out of this plane. That tells people, look, you need to go to Sears and get your appliances. And I had disc jockeys saying, you know what? You're buying media with me. I want to give Mar fans a wake-up call. I'm going to call people up at 6 o'clock in the morning and say, get up and go shopping at Sears, and we're going to give them some gift cards, we're going to give them some appliances, we're going to give them some prizes. And that was great. I thought, you know, that's brilliant. That is an extension of the idea of waking people up and saying, you know, you might have forgotten about Sears because there's a lot of new shiny stores on your block, but the #1 appliance retailer in the industry is still here, we're still #1, and we still got everything you want. And I thought they did a fantastic job coming up with those kind of creative ideas. And those are the kind of ideas I get excited about getting involved with.
Great. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.